Champion 3, the final rank to conquer before seeing that shiny red Grand Champion logo, and hopefully that tag at the end of the season, if you manage to get your ranked wins of course. Whether you're queuing with a friend or alone, you can guarantee to go through Assault Mine during your competitive sessions. Hey, I'm Jack, your friendly neighbourhood Rocket League player that loves to queue another game whilst on a 7-game losing streak. In today's video, I'm back doing a replay analysis of 3 Champion 3 players. I'll break up the video into 3 parts, a 1-minute replay analysis and overall review of each player, similar mistakes between these players, and my overall advice for any players wanting to rank up into Grand Champion 1. Let's get into it. Okay, our first Champion 3 player is Juicy Bacon 11. Now from the kickoff, they actually don't choose to go for the cheat or corner boost, they actually pick up some pads. Then decides to retreat into the goal. When I first watched this replay, I thought, are they actually trolling? Now goes for an aerial only when their teammate has literally just landed back on the ground. Bit of a weird push into the midfield when teammate didn't have any possession. A very weird trolley flip into the goal. Positioning in the goal is a bit questionable and as a result has led to a goal being conceded by the blue team. Let's see what happens with the next play. Decides to go for the cheat this time. Sees that the ball's in a bit of an awkward space, so goes for the back corner boost. Good challenge there. Manages to get back down to the ground. Bit questionable to put pressure on the player there. However, is able to get possession of the ball. Doesn't get the flick over to the other end of the field. And again, just a bit of an error from the teammate actually. So Juicy, what have you got now for this kickoff? Decent speed flip kickoff. Goes for the mid boost. Again, good positioning, nothing too worrisome. Decent challenge, and then the teammates there to follow up. Is unable to put on the shot, and then I'll go through this one last play. Misses the touch to get the ball centered, and we'll call that the first minute of analysis. So after watching Juicy's replay in its entirety, I actually was questioning whether or not this was a smurf or not. However, I felt pretty confident that Juicy was a normal Champion 3, just with a very weird play style, I guess. At times, he'd position himself very weirdly on the field, would flip into the goal on occasion, and more often than not would just give away possession quite easily. While analysing the replay, I felt Juicy was in 2 mindsets throughout the game. The first being quite relaxed and actually not aware that they're playing a game of competitive Rocket League, as evident by the first kickoff with Juicy not going to cheat for the ball or collect a corner boost. The second was ultra aggressive and panicky at times. It's almost like there was a switch in Juicy's head, seeing that the opponents were taking too long to make up a decision and decided to challenge immediately. I could also sense some impatience with that teammate, usually cutting off rotations or interrupting the teammate setting up a play. Personally, it seems like Juicy really wasn't gelling with the teammate they've been paired with, usually opting to go for a solo play rather than using their teammate as an option. Though I do have to factor Juicy solo queuing this game, and I know trust can be quite a common issue for a lot of people that solo queue with random teammates throughout their competitive sessions. Lastly, these are 3 common mistakes I saw Juicy making when analysing this replay. The first was giving away possession too easily, the second was poor defensive rotations, and the third was poor shot accuracy. I'll show some examples of those mistakes now. Okay, so our second Champion 3 player is Aiko. Decides to go for a cheat on kickoff. Gets a nice little fake to get possession of the ball, picks up the boost and looks like they're going for a flip. Gets it, turns it into a musty and actually gets a really nice goal, so very nice play there. On for kickoff now. Nice little kickoff to get the win. Picks up the mid boost and pushing quite closely to the teammate. I will mention though that Aiko was actually paired up with his teammate in a party, so something to factor in when I was analysing this replay. Doesn't get to do much with the ball when going for a goal back there. Nice distancing away from his teammate there. Opponents get a really good save. Really good for Aiko to slow down the play to get possession on the ball. However, gets quite a hard first touch and in a way gives possession to the opponents. Manages to slow play it and gets it across Aiko's goal, knowing that they had full possession of the ball, which is really good to see. Tries to get a musty over the opponents, which doesn't work. Retreating back to grab the corner boost. Goes for a booming clear, again giving opponents possession on the ball to make up another play. Nice little challenge there, and that's our first minute of analysis. After watching Aiko's replay in its entirety, I found that they had some really good mechanical skills. However, they were being let down by these simple basic errors. While confident in their mechanics, it seemed like Aiko really didn't have the timing of their challenges down right. I will also mention the fact that their teammate was AFK during some parts of the game, so I guess I can't fully critique Aiko for 2v1ing these opponents while their teammate was AFK. Aiko did also go for some complex mechanical shots during the game, which I don't think worked quite well considering their teammate played rather passively throughout it. Being able to adapt to the playstyle of your teammates is important as you climb the ranks. And as I watched this replay, I felt like the teammate was really relying on Aiko to pull off a lot of solo plays. But solo plays are only going to get you so many wins in this game. You really need to trust and rely on your teammate as you climb up the higher ranks. Overall, Aiko had a really solid gameplay during this replay analysis. I did find 3 common mistakes they seemed to be making during this replay though. The first was poor timing of their challenges. The second was poor first touches. And the third was minor game awareness mistakes. I'll show you some examples now. Now on to our third player, Spinning Frog. So on for kickoff. Decent kickoff there. A bit pointless going for the double jump to interrupt the opponent, however did get the boost. Kind of gave away possession with that shot, now that Driz has the ball. Good challenging and knew when to back off from there, which is good to see. Nice positioning in goal. Got the challenge there, and that challenge has actually ended up being a pass. And the teammate capitalizes on it. Okay, let's see what Frog does here. Decides to cheat up with the teammate. Okay, again, gave away possession because the opponent picked up the boost and then the teammate also picked up the mid boost. So, bit of a risky challenge there, and as a result, actually ended up leaving them concede a goal. Goes for the cheat again. Gets the corner boost, tries to slow play it. Decent challenge there. Quite close with their teammate. I think the teammate probably would have had a better opportunity to capitalize on the play there. Spawns in. And a good push up there. We'll go for one last play. Knew when to back off. And a decent clear, but the opponent still got possession of it. It didn't surprise me that when analysing Spinning Frog's replay that they too were making just basic mistakes. At times they seem to be rushing into making a play and trying to just get a touch on the ball for the sake of touching it. Spinning Frog was prone to giving away ball possession, and when given the opportunity to actually take possession of the ball, struggled to actually maintain control of it. I found Spinning Frog really didn't slow down the game and actually capitalise when having possession of the ball to execute a play. They were definitely more of a ball chasey kind of player compared to the other two I analysed. I saw quite a few silly double commits in this replay, and general spacing between each other really didn't exist, though I can't solely place the blame on Spinning Frog either. These were the 3 common mistakes I noticed. The first was giving away possession, the second was poor ball control, and the third was poor timing of their challenges. I'll show some examples now. Compared to when I analysed the Champion 1s in a recent video of mine, I noticed that these Champion 3s were making a lot less mistakes. They all were playing at a faster speed, were a lot more sound in their mechanics, and generally had an improved game sense. However, the first similar mistake I noticed was the basic decision-making errors they were making, either a silly challenge, a mechanical error like a misflip, or just a complete brain fart. I will admit that this kind of includes the next mistakes I'll talk about, but I guess it's more focused towards the split decision-making players are required to make at this rank. A majority of the goals scored in these 3 replays I watched were a result of just a simple, fixable mistake, and these 2 are a common feature in higher ranked gameplay like Grand Champion 1. The next similar mistake they appeared to be making was not getting their first touches right, and this usually was when the opponent was pressuring them. I feel like it's quite common for players to panic in these situations, and heck, even happens up in GC1. Lastly, and I feel like this is a universal problem that happens at all ranks, but I did notice that these 3 players also gave away possession often when analysing the replays. I'm a firm believer that the player in possession of the ball has control of the game, and it's one aspect of gameplay that I'd strongly recommend lower ranked players working on. While it didn't result in any goals being scored after a player had given away possession in these 3 replays that I've analysed, I did notice that it allowed the opponents to set up the next play that eventually led to a goal. Finally, we now get to Jack's goodie bag of tips and suggestions to get past the rank of Champion 3. I'll give you peeps 4 tips and suggestions to round out the video. Number 1. Don't give away possession of the ball too easily. As I preached before, the player with the ball has control of the game, so try not to just boom the ball away to your opponents. Number 2. Stay calm under pressure. Now I don't have a training pack or a drill to use for this, but it's important to keep your composure in those tense situations of a game. Panic stations often lead to double and triple commits. Number 3. Nail those first touches. Getting your first touch right helps set up your next play. Number 4. Time your challenges. Pressuring your opponents to give away possession is important. However, it's equally important to know when you should time your challenges. I usually recommend challenging if you know your teammate is in a position to back you up. So there we have it, a little replay analysis of 3 Champion 3 players and finding some common mistakes they're making in this rank. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out the other one I did on Champion 1 players? I'll leave it on screen here for you now. I got you, fam. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like me to do another video like this on a different rank. I'm Jack, and I'll see you next time. Catch ya.